Good morning and welcome to another Countryside Adventures video, or I guess wherever you're at, good afternoon or good evening. I'm Cliff, for those of you that don't know, and our family participates in a lot of outdoor activities, whether it be hunting or just hiking or out at TAC, Total Archery Challenge events, participating in NAS, which is National Archery in Schools program with our son Colin. And we have purchased a RV camper behind us, and I just want to give everyone a quick tour. And as we give a quick tour, if you'll hang around to the end of this video, I'll kind of explain why we purchased this camper and some of the details of it real quick. Now, to get the video started, what I thought I would do is I would just give you the specs really fast, and then as we do the tour, I'll tell you really quick why we purchased this camper, show you some of the details that the camper has going on at the moment, and some of the intended things that we plan on modifying or changing as we go along with this, and the reasoning behind it. Now, as we start the tour of this little 174 BH, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, leave me a comment down below. I'll always try to get back to every comment that I possibly can, and let's start the tour of this little 174 BH. My apologies for the camper being so close to our shop's awning, but to be honest, we haven't had this very long, and we are still trying to figure out kind of how we're going to fit everything into the space that we have to work with here and keep things in a comfortable manner to move vehicles around and whatnot. So really quick, just to run down the specs, the dry hitch weight is 300 pounds of the camper. Unloaded vehicle weight is 3,075 pounds. And the cargo capacity is 675 pounds. Gross vehicle rating is 3,950 pounds. So this little camper does not have any slide outs, which is something that I wanted just because of some of the places that we go to. And it just seemed like something else to break. And I got to be honest here, I have absolutely zero experience with a camper or an RV. So this is definitely a learning experience for me. Now, the measurements of this camper is 21 feet, 8 inches long overall. The exterior height is 9.2 feet. The exterior height with the AC unit is 9.9. And the exterior width is 7.1. The interior height is 6'6", so it does have good height for a larger person. And the awning length is 10 foot. Now, the freshwater tanks is something that I was very interested in, and we'll get a little bit more into that later. But the freshwater holding capacity is 20 gallons. The gray water capacity is 9.9 gallons. Black tank is 9.9 gallons, and the propane holds a 20-pound bottle. Now, the propane bracket is something that I've already modified on this camper since getting it, and it just basically had 2 pieces of angle iron and a bolt that went through the angle iron that went into the bottom of the propane stand, and basically you just had to pull the bolts out and reinstall them every time you wanted to remove the propane bracket. So I got a commercial bracket like goes on a forklift and modified it and mounted that up. So I think it came out pretty nice, and it's really secure. It's a commercial bracket, so it shouldn't have any issues over the long term. And I did go ahead and just use the excess space that I had there on the bottom so that I could put a couple of levels down there. So I think that came out okay. Now, the sway control, the camper did already have on it when we picked it up. Now, kind of the miscellaneous specifications of it is this camper sleeps 5. It has a 6-gallon water heater. It does have 1 outside storage compartment, which is very large. We'll get to that here in just a second. It has an 1800 BTU furnace, and the tire size are a 14. Now, the tires on this camper is something I'm very curious about, and I really haven't been able to find any legitimate information. I would like to upgrade to some 15-inch tires and wheels, particularly aluminum wheels. I just want to make sure with any suspension articulation, I'm not going to have any issues with contact. So I really haven't made that move yet. I'm not sure what to do, so I'm still trying to figure that out. Now, the inner fenders on this are really nice. They're actually like a galvanized sheet metal, so that is an obvious good thing when boondocking or off-roading of any kind, but just due to the mud and rocks. Now, we did purchase this camper used, and we bought it from an extremely nice family, and they stated that they'd purchased it around the time of the whole COVID situation or just post-COVID, and the reason why they purchased it was to take their grandkids camping. And they stated that they had only used it 5 or 6 times. And after going and looking at it, we literally looked at this thing top, bottom, inside out. I absolutely believe them. I have no reason to doubt it. So after visiting with them, taking a look at the camper, and we decided that it definitely fit our budget because we did not want to spend new RV money for what we wanted to do. Now, while we're outside taking a look at everything, let's take a look at the cargo capacity. So here on the side, it has just sort of this rubber cleat, and then also on the door, and they are magnetized, so the door just stays open. Now, Colin and I have actually already started organizing the storage compartment, and you can see we have purchased a Renogy solar panel. And so that is one of the things that we plan on doing in the future. We got a couple of just grill accessories. Now, we do have a fresh water hose, and we just slid that inside of a trash bag just to keep it clean, and so that we can supply the camper with fresh water. And we have a couple of storage bins over there with all the different accessories that go along with this. Now, the plan is with the Renogy solar panel is to upgrade to 2 batteries, and we're going to fabricate a bracket somewhere over on this area of the camper to install an SAE plug so that we can just go ahead and plug in either a battery maintainer here at the shop, or we can plug into the Renogy briefcase solar panel to keep the batteries topped off when we're boondocking. And as we move to the inside of the camper, I'd like to start sharing a little bit about with you what actually drove us to purchase this camper. Now, over the last couple of years, Colin and I have done a lot of bow hunting, and honestly, it was kind of one of those situations to where the harder the hunt, the more we enjoyed it, the better stories that we had, and we really enjoyed that. Now, you know, when we say harder the hunt, that's completely relative, but we always just packed a tent, we set up a tent, we went in, we camped, we stayed there 3 or 4 days, and then whatever, you know, harvest we had, we would just pack out. We would have to roll up camp, we would have to head back. The downside to that situation is, one, my wife actually wanted to go as Colin gets a little bit older. She wanted to start spending some time outdoors with us doing that. Also, we started doing a lot of the TAC stuff, the Total Archery Challenge. And so we were spending money on hotels, things like that, and also doing the traveling. Those events are at a lot of state and national parks. So one of the big reasons why we thought we would purchase this is my wife, Amy, wanted to go and spend some more time with us in the outdoors. Maybe go to our hunting camp, check things out, go to Total Archery Challenge with my son and I, and she would actually go and hike it with us. So that was one of the big reasons. Second reason is Colin is getting to an age now to where he is starting college, and he's actually doing college classes online while he's still in high school. And so we kind of started talking about it, and one of the things that we knew for sure is as he is proceeding through college, that there is no way that he was going to be able to keep up with his college classes and everything he needs to keep up with school and sleeping in a tent for 3 or 4 days. So our thought was, at least if we had this small camper, we could sit down at the dinette, we could get a decent night's sleep, and he could keep up with whatever he needed to keep up with school. And honestly, that would kind of help extend our hunting. Additionally, with the job that I have, again, I'm just a regular guy with a normal job, and keep up with a lot of the things that I need to keep up with for work. And as long as I have a hotspot or a cell connection, I can pretty much do whatever deems necessary on a quick basis. So this does have the small refrigerator, and the refrigerator does run off of 12 volts, 110, and propane, so that's pretty cool. It does have the pump for the 20-gallon holding tank, and we've taken this on one trip. We actually took this to Arkansas to go and scout about 400 acres of hunting property that we will be hunting this fall. And so pretty impressed with the size of the small bathroom. That was kind of one of the things that we had talked about. Definitely had to have some sort of restroom facility since there's going to be 3 of us. And as we start working our way back, these are some of the things that we have talked about. So we kind of started working on these cabinets. We put some organizers in there. Now, the BH is for bunkhouse, and so we did get the bunkhouse version is what we were looking for. Now, these mattresses, they call them teddy bear mattresses. And again, I'm very new to the RV world, so I don't know a ton about this. But my understanding is these are called teddy bear mattresses. And the first night that Colin slept on these, he actually slept on the bottom bunk. These mattresses are only about 3 inches thick. And he said that they did leave a little bit to be desired as far as comfort. You know, obviously that's relative. It's definitely better than sleeping in a tent on a foot pump blow-up mattress. So there's the furnace. There's the refrigerator. So with that, I think what we're probably going to do is upgrade the bunk mattresses. The queen mattress is a Serta mattress, and it's very comfortable. I had no issues with it whatsoever. And actually, the base underneath the mattress raises up, and that will let you get access to the storage compartment up at the nose of the camper trailer that we showed you earlier. The base of this raises up, so I'll pull it out for you. And so under the dinette, we have additional storage. And so what we did was put a lot of cleaning and cooking supplies inside of there. Now the dinette obviously folds down into a small bed if you need an extra space. So we do have a microwave, we have a propane stove. The one thing that we don't have is an oven, which is not a big deal. And here there is a television outlet mount, and it's a 12 volt, just a standard 12 volt, like an old school, like cigarette lighter plug. And I just used a get it a big box store plug with a couple of USBs to plug in, and all you have to do is push the button, the ring light comes on, and you can charge off of that. My thought was, I do not want a television. I could care less about a television when we're out in the outdoors or shooting tack or hunting or whatever. So I just completely stuck that in there and didn't care about a television, to be honest. So we have all the controls and the tank levels for our water system, basic lights. Literally the only thing wrong with this camper when we purchased it that I need to basically repair, that's not really an upgrade, is this light. The cover was gone off of it, and that's what it should look like. The light was with the camper, just the little plastic clips had broken off of the edge of it where it mounts up there. So basically I just picked up another light. I'm just going to replace the light, that way it has a cover on it and it looks right. So that was literally the only thing wrong with this camper when we purchased it. So we did throw up a couple of command strips just so we could hang door keys. And one of the things that we ran into in Arkansas was I was just going to hang like a towel, and we threw up a command strip up there just so we can hang like a hoodie or a towel or anything like that that's not like super wet, just so that we could keep things off of the floor and keep them cleaned up. That's basically the inside of the camper, and that's the reason why we purchased this camper. It is wired for solar, or it says it's wired for solar. Again, I'm not an RV guy. This is my first experience. We just opted to purchase the briefcase charger. That way, if we wanted to hook it to a vehicle with a dead battery or something like that, it wouldn't be a big deal. We could kind of be really versatile with whatever we were doing. So that's the reason why we opted for a briefcase charger as we started doing research. Now, if you'd like to see a full review on the install or how I plan on setting up the solar charger system, please do me a favor, leave a comment down below. And that is a quick tour of our Jayco Jay Flight 174BH camper, and sort of the reasoning as a family that we had discussed and decided to go ahead and make a purchase of the camper. It definitely fit the bill. It fit our budget, so I think it'll work out great. I really appreciate you coming along for a tour. If you guys are a family out there enjoying outdoors, that's absolutely fantastic. Keep the kids off the video games, television, all the craziness going on in the world. If you're someone that's just kind of living vicariously through people enjoying the outdoors, that's also great. Man, I want this channel to be something that you can sit down with your nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, daughters, sons, whatever it is, and just kind of check out nature, check out the outdoors, check out what families are doing outdoors, check out archery, bow hunting, a lot of tradition, things like that. And again, as always, really appreciate you watching. Please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, leave me a comment, leave me a message, whatever it may be. I'll always try to get back to every comment that I possibly can. And as always, we'll see you outdoors.